through your Hata profession, or I mean your presidency with Hata, right? What are some of the things that you've learned about, the Hawaii community, or learned about this leadership role, or anything that you can share? Because it's all this volunteer work that helps to perpetuate growing the profession, right? And then, like you said, all of you guys that have put in so much time, we need to continue that. We need to build off of that. So what was anything you want to share, like the experience, some of the takeaways, and what do you think other athletic trainers need to do to help keep this forward progression?
Well, for myself, when so I started off as, in my youth, I was a co-chair for the student athletic trainer workshop.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I got my feet wet with Hata. And then a few years later, I was nominated for secretary. I got that. I think I did 2 terms as vice president. And then there was going into the end of my vice presidency, people were saying, okay, I think you're going to get nominated. I'm like, well, I don't know if I want it. I don't know if I'm ready.
Yeah.
I told my wife, actually, I said, okay, if anybody nominates me, except if it's Eric or Cindy Clivio, if it's the 2 of them, I'll have to accept. But if anybody else nominates me, I'm going to decline.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, the day the nominations open, Cindy approaches me on my desk and she says, well, the nominations are open. I said, oh, yeah. So I knew where she was going. So I got nominated by her. So I accepted. And I joke that, the first 20 people that they asked turned it down. So
we know that's not true though, but yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, it was making sure that the committee was a group of people that I could work with, that I could trust, because I like to delegate.
Yeah.
I think you're only as good as the people you're surrounded with. So we had, there's a group of people that we had on committee, and we kind of switched roles to a certain extent. We brought in some new people, some new blood, and that's kind of where we are now. Is that we're trying to, in my last exec board meeting, my big thing is, okay, who's next? Because my term is up, and I don't know who on the committee now is interested in serving. I want to thank you for stepping up, trying to take on a committee. So, we're definitely looking for people to chair committees. We're slowly filling spots, but yeah, it's if I didn't think I have the time. I have through the 4 years. This was my younger daughter. She's in her senior year, so it's funny that my final year is during her senior year. So I'm trying to, I have my personal, trying to get her ready for graduation. My older daughter is, she's away at college. So just things going on in my personal life that I'd kind of like to focus on, but it's about balancing the time. So if you think you don't have the time, you try to make the time. It's because if it's not me, then who? So
exactly. Is that something that you always enjoyed, I should say, serving in these leadership roles?
Not exactly enjoy. Sometimes I want to say I thrive on the pressure.
Okay.
I'm still learning the whole parliamentary process. When I run meetings and I'm asking the former Hata members that were on the executive committee, like, okay, so what's the wording? It's so technical. I'm like, okay, it's fun to kind of watch like the symposium that you spoke at. I think at Kamehameha. I think that might have been our last in-person symposium.
That
as well.
might have been actually, yes. Yeah.
Just the whole planning process, and then I kind of stressed over because Cindy and I had coordinated that venue. Just watching it kind of watch the event happen and stuff, and even virtually watch the meetings that go into the meetings and prep that go into an event, and then once it's all done, it's just kind of, okay, now I can exhale and I think, okay, I think that was a success, so, and then hearing, I don't want to, like I said, I like to delegate. I don't want to micromanage. So we have National Athletic Training Month coming up. So I have our PR committee, our public relations committee, which is Cindy Shimoda, and then Ben, who is our social committee chair. I kind of let them run with the events. And yeah, I just, like I said, just try to surround myself with people that I can trust, and then the association kind of runs itself to a certain extent. But
no, it's exciting, all of the things that have been put together, all of these workshops and even socials or just networking. And I do want to say, you probably know the ballpark number, but how many athletic trainers are part of Hata now? I want to say upwards of 300 something.
I think it's close to 300.
Yeah, close to 300.
Yeah.
So that's, there's a lot of athletic trainers. And, if anyone listens to this that's like GAs, coming from the mainland to UH, or, even coming here for a job opportunity or whatever, join Hata, because it's a good place to, like you said, the resources, right? If you're on a away game, or if you need some resources, right? There's a lot of people that's willing to help, I think, in the community. So it's a great thing that, Hata has always grown. It's grown since I joined, probably, but it's always been a strong knit community that there's a lot of things beyond just, being a member that you can benefit from. So, yeah. But overall, I mean, the last thing I'll leave you with is, do you have any last words for, can either be athletic training students or even your athletes, is there any last words that you have? And it is Athletic Trainers Month, so maybe like even appreciating your athletic trainer, because they do a lot, behind the scenes that oftentimes don't get seen, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is a thankless job. We don't get into this job, we don't do this for the recognition.
Yes.
But when you do get recognized, it's awesome. I remember John Conrad, I don't know if you saw, after Lahaina Luna had won the state championship in wrestling, there was a picture of his team carrying him. He had the trophy and they're carrying him. I think that's awesome. I mean, just those moments that make it, extra special. I had a moment at state wrestling. I had an athlete who made it to the state final in his weight class. And he had battled injuries through his season. He was a football player, and then before his match, he told me, "Hey, Reid, we made it." I'm like, "No, bro, you made it." But it was just like those moments that, definitely, National Athletic Training Month. Show your athletic trainer some aloha. I think the theme this year is providing healthcare everywhere, and I mean, we're in the middle of the Pacific, so I mean, we're catching that. So I mean, I think that's a key message there.
Yeah. Awesome message. And like there's a lot of things that just show some appreciation. I don't think any athletic trainer expects it, but they're definitely, it makes them continue to do all the things that they're doing and keep progressing forward. And Kamehameha athletes, when you win any championships, then go find Reid and pick them up. Can take a shot for star advertiser. But anyway, no, it was good to catch up and hear the story. I like learning the path of everybody and then how it's evolved, especially, in the Hawaii community with athletic training. So we'll have to catch up again sooner and share some more of these stories. But overall, I mean, thanks so much for joining me today, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you, bro.